Donald Trump believes it was fraudulent, and he has a right to hold that belief, as do you if you go along with him. You have a right to that opinion. But Trump carried it further and demanded that Vice President Pence not certify the electoral votes that the states handed in. Pence said, I don't have the power to do that, and reiterated that on Friday, February 4th. Go.
But there are those in our party who believe that, as the presiding officer over the joint session of Congress, that I possess unilateral authority to reject electoral college votes. And I heard this week that President Trump said I had the right to overturn the election. But President Trump is wrong. I had no right to overturn the election.
All right. So that is the Vice President's opinion, clearly stated. Now, on January 6th, 2021, all right, while all hell was breaking loose in Washington, D.C., I said this: Mike Pence does not have the power to do that. Only the Supreme Court does. All right? The Vice President of the United States, according to our Constitution, is a facilitator. All right? He presents the arguments about certifying or not certifying the electoral votes. He doesn't make unilateral decisions about what happens in the states. That has never happened. It never will happen. It is clearly unconstitutional, and that is true. Now, we have posted on BillO'Reilly.com a very thorough article, and I don't have time to do it here, and it's a bit complex, okay? But a very thorough article laying out what the Constitution actually says, okay? And the Vice President does not have the power to overturn the will of the electors of the state. Okay. Now, if Pence did that, and here's the irony of this whole thing. If Mike Pence had said, no, I agree with Donald Trump, I do have the power to stop the electoral count because of alleged fraud, it instantly would have gone to the Supreme Court like Gore v. Bush did. The Supreme Court, I believe, would have ruled 9-0 that Pence did not have the power to stop the electoral vote count. Now, that's speculation on my part, but I know how the justices ruled, and I saw how Justice Alito, the second most conservative judge on the court, oversaw the Pennsylvania vote. It was quite clear that Alito was sympathetic to any allegations of fraud, but you had to prove them. And proof was not forthcoming. So Alito said, I'm not going to intervene in Pennsylvania. Okay. So if that had happened and Pence had said, nope, not certifying the election, boom, next day in the Supreme Court, and they would have ruled against President Trump. And that would have taken him out of politics forever. Isn't this interesting? If he had gotten whacked by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court would have been scathing in its opinion, that would have doomed Donald Trump for any future political run. But because that did not happen, you can make a case, and a good one, that Mike Pence saved Donald Trump for another run because Trump does want to go for president in 2024. Okay? I think that's fair coverage. Again, BillO'Reilly.com has the article if you want to read it, and it is a very good piece.